Hi everyone, I'm Heather. Welcome to Strings and Threads, streaming to you from my dungeon of dreams. Join me in the magical world of crochet, knitting, and all things yarn. If you're a fellow yarn enthusiast, hit that subscribe button and become part of our creative journey. Let's dive into today's project. Hi, my name is Heather. Welcome to Strings and Threads. Today I'm doing a tutorial for the Sleepy Lion Drawstring Bag, and it comes from my book. This is available on Amazon, available in Kindle, paperback, and hardback if you are interested. It's called Fantastic Fantasy Drawstring Bags, and there are 26 patterns in this book. I'm doing a playlist where I'm going to do a tutorial eventually of all of them. As of the making of this tutorial, I don't have all of them completed. I'm just working on them one at a time. It's a big job to get all of that done. So originally I named this the Whimsical Lion, and I made this one. I made it like this, and people were very confused. They said, is it supposed to be a patriotic lion? I don't get it. I had just used random scrap yarn that I had. I mean, I didn't pick red, white, and blue on purpose, and there are other colors in there too. There's gray and black. It wasn't meant to be anything like that. It was just whimsical because it was colorful, and you could use any colors you wanted in the main. But people were very confused by that, so then I went and redid the bag in more, I have my dice in there, that's why it's rattling, more traditional like lion look, and then I just named it Sleepy Lion because the eyes were closed. So, you're welcome to use whatever colors you want. You can make it whimsical. You can make it look exactly like a lion. So for the mane on this one, I used Just Yarn Plush. And I'm not sure 100% yet what I'm going to do for the mane on the one I'm making with you today. I'm certainly not going to use red, white, and blue because that just seemed to be very confusing. But you will need a skein. This is going to be my lion color, like the lion skin color, not the main color. That's what I'm going to use. This is something that I bought at a secondhand store for 50 cents. So I don't know if you can get this anymore. It's just the color was kind of what I was looking for, something like on the light brown side. But you are welcome, like I said, to use whatever color you want. And then you can use scraps, you can use plushy yarn, you could do whatever you want for the mane. These were two that I just took off my shelf. Maybe I'll mix them up and combine them. We'll see. And then you'll need some black yarn for the nose and for the eyes. You'll also need scissors. You may need a stitch marker. And you'll need paracord, which is parachute cord. You can get this at any craft store. I've seen it at Lowe's, I've seen it at craft stores, I've seen it at Walmart. So you should be able to find this no problem. I did order mine on Amazon because I bought it in bulk because I was going to be using a lot of paracord. But if you don't want to make an Amazon order, you can get it in one of those other places, Walmart, Lowe's, craft stores. There may be other places too. Those are the places I've noticed them in. Some people say, why don't you just use an I-cord or something like that made out of yarn? I'm sorry, I'm a little bit out of it today, I guess. Well, I have been making bags like this for my sons since they were little, and they're in their late teens now. And they would open them and close them and open them and close them and open them and close them. And the yarn would be breaking. I would say probably like every other day I would be replacing the yarn, no matter how I did it, whether I did it in braids, in I-cord, in whatever I did, the yarn would get caught in the toggle fastener and it would rip the yarn. And so I was constantly repairing it. And I was looking around for an alternative solution, and the paracord has been great. As soon as I found the paracord, I replaced my boys' bags cords with the paracord, and I have never changed them since. It's been many years, if not a decade, and I have not had to change it. So that's why I use the paracord. You know how you're going to be using your bag, so if you would prefer to do an I-cord, it's completely up to you. But my suggestion is a paracord because it will be much sturdier and it will last a lot longer. You'll need the toggle fastener. This one is just one hole, but some of them come with 2 holes. I only picked this one because I bought them in bulk on Amazon and this was the cheapest. So that's the reason why I went with the 1 hole. But you know, if the one with 2 holes were cheaper, I would have bought that because it doesn't really matter. So I got these on Amazon. I got them in bulk. I'm not sure. I've not seen them in craft stores or any other place. Your craft store might have it. I'm not sure. I know that different places carry different things, but around where I live, I have not seen toggle fasteners in stores. So I just resorted to buying it on Amazon. But if you put in the search toggle fastener, then you'll find these. You'll need an H, which is a 5mm crochet hook, and a yarn needle, darning needle. I've heard them called both, so whichever. And this tutorial is not for absolute beginners who don't know how to crochet. If you know how to chain, half double crochet, and double crochet independently, hopefully this will be easy for you. I'm going to read the pattern and then I'm going to do it with you. So hopefully, whether you can read patterns or not, you know, whatever's easiest for you, hopefully we'll be able to accommodate that. And if you're not very good at reading patterns, maybe something like this will help you to do that because we'll be going through the whole thing together. But I just wanted to say that up front because sometimes people will complain that I'll say it's easy, but I guess I mean it's easy if you already can independently do the stitches. This isn't for somebody who doesn't already know how to crochet. All right, I'm going to get my yarn ready and then come back. Okay, I have my yarn ready, but I wanted to just go over the abbreviations. So when you see CH, that means chain. When you see HDC, it means half double crochet. When you see DC, it means double crochet. Okay, we're going to start with the bag part. And for the first round, there's 2 ways of doing this. I wrote it the easiest way in my pattern because I've had a lot of feedback from people who say, oh, because I would prefer to use the magic ring actually. But a lot of people say, oh, I don't know how to do that. And you know, I need something that's easier. So the way I wrote it is to chain 2, put 10 half double crochets in the second chain from the hook, attach to the first half double crochet with a slip stitch to form a circle, and you'll have 10 half double crochets in that round. I'll show you what that looks like, and then I'm going to show you how I actually prefer to do it, and you can try it with me if you would like. So here's the chain 2. I'm sorry I don't have beautiful nails. I know all of the professional people do, but I've been renovating my house and it's not practical because we're doing lots of painting and staining and stuff. 10 half double crochets in the second chain from the hook. So the second chain from the hook, this is the first chain, here's the second. So it's the first chain that you made. Yeah, I mean, you could see that I have cuts and stuff. It's just because I've been working and it makes no sense for me to try and do fancy nails and make my skin nice only to peel it off a couple hours later and work and then have to do it again for a tutorial. So I apologize. If you prefer looking at all those beautiful hands and beautiful nails, you won't get that from me. So I'm not going to go ahead and put all 10 in since I'm not doing it this way, but you can see that as you smash all of those stitches into one chain, it does come around to a circle, and then when you get to 10 you would attach with a slip stitch to the first one. I did not do 10, I just did a few just to show you how to do it. And then you can see it does leave a little bit of a gap in the middle there when you do it this way. But since we're doing it in a video tutorial, I can show you a different way, you know, and not have to try to describe it in words only. So this is the way that I actually prefer. So I would start with a magic circle, which is you're going to start your slip knot, but you're not going to finish it. You're just going to keep it loose. And then you chain one, put 10 half double crochets into this magic circle. This is going to get closed up, so don't say, oh no, there's a hole there too. The magic circle is nice because you can pull the tail and it will tighten the hole, and then you don't have an open hole. You can't do that when you chain in, or when you do the stitches into a second chain from the hook. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and then here's where we can pull the tail and it will close up the hole. And then you can attach with a slip stitch to the first half double crochet that you put in that round. And you'll have 10 half double crochets total. I always put the number that you'll have at the end of that round there so that you can check that you're on task. Round 2, chain 1, 2 half double crochets in each stitch around, attached to the first half double crochet. You'll end the round with 20 half double crochets. So chain 1, and I like to crochet my tails in because I hate tails. So 2 double crochet or 2 half double crochets in the same stitch is the same thing as an increase. You might refer to it as an increase or putting 2 in each stitch. So what you're just going to do is you're going to put 1 half double crochet in the first stitch and then do another half double crochet in the same stitch, and then move on to the next stitch. You will get 20 at the end of the round because right now you have 10, but when you put 2 in each stitch, you double it. So you'll end up with 20. I'll do one more stitch with you and then we'll pause and finish the round and come back. So 2 into the third stitch now, or an increase, however you prefer to say it. Now finish the round by putting 2 half double crochets in each stitch or increasing in each stitch. When you come around, attach to the first stitch with a slip stitch, and then we'll start round 3. Okay, here's how mine looks. So for round 3, we're going to chain 1. We're going to put 2 half double crochets, which also can be called an increase, in the first stitch, and then 1 half double crochet in the next. Repeat around, attached to first half double crochet. And you'll end the round with 30 half double crochets total for that round. So the pattern is increase and then 1, increase and then 1. I'll show you what that looks like. You're going to chain 1. You're going to do your increase or 2 half double crochets in the first stitch. So there's 1, go back in the same stitch for 2, and then 1 half double crochet in the next stitch. 2 half double crochets or an increase in the next stitch. Oops. 1 half double crochet in the next. I'll do one more of this pattern with you and then we'll pause, finish the round, and come back. 2 half double crochets in this stitch or increase, and then 1 half double crochet in the next. So finish your round and then come back and we'll get ready for the next round. All right, so that was round 3. Now for round 4, chain 1, 2 half double crochets, or you can say increase, in the first stitch, 1 half double crochet in the next 2 stitches. Repeat around. Attach to the first half double crochet. You'll end the round with 40 half double crochets. So this is how this looks. Chain 1, put 2 half double crochets in the first stitch, or an increase in the first stitch, and then 1 half double crochet in the next 2. So the 1 double crochet here, 1 double crochet in the next. Now we're going to put 2 half double crochets or an increase in the next stitch, 1 half double crochet into the next 2 stitches. 1, 2. Now repeat that all the way around and then attach with a slip stitch to the first half double crochet. When you come around, you should have 40 stitches, and then we'll go through the next thing. All right, so we just finished up 4. Now for rounds 5 through 17. So the way that I keep track of that, I found this on Etsy. I'm not affiliated or sponsored or anything like that. I just saw it there and I thought it was pretty nice. They call it Knitter's Pride Row Counter Ring. A great jewelry piece too. I don't wear it as jewelry because I don't want it to break. So I only use it when I need to count rows. But right now you can see the silver lines are here and it's at 0, 0. Since we have, I have it upside down, I'm sorry. Since we have 4 rows already done, sorry, I lost my train of thought there. I'm gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4. And that way when I do the next round, then I can click it up to 5. And that's how I can keep track of getting to 17. Before I had this, I would just get a Post-it note and I'd put a slash every time I completed a round so that I knew where I was. Whatever way works for you. I know it's a lot to count that many rows or that many rounds, but we're not going to increase or decrease. We ended with 40 half double crochets in a round, and we're going to continue having 40 half double crochets in the round up to row 17, and then we'll look at the rest of it later. So whatever way is best for you to keep track of that. And I'll just show you, it's just chain 1, put 1 half double crochet in each stitch around, and then you join with a slip stitch to the first one, and then you do it again, chain 1, 1 half double crochet in each stitch around. So why don't we break and do that, and then we'll come back when we are ready for round 18. All right, here's how it is with all 17 rows done, or rounds. Round 18, we're going to put a double crochet row, and the reason being this is the round that you're going to put the paracord through. So you can see on my finished one here that this round was double crochets, and then we just weave the paracord in and out of that. So let's finish the bag all together though before we start dealing with the paracord. But I just wanted to explain why this round is not the same stitch. So it just says round 18, chain 2, 1 double crochet in each stitch around attached to the first double crochet. And then you're going to still have 40 stitches. It's just that now they're going to be double crochets instead of half double crochets. So we start by chaining 2, and we're just going to put 1 double crochet in each stitch around. I won't do the whole thing with you because that'll be long, but I'll do one more after this one, and then I'll pause my video, you pause yours, finish your round, and then we'll come back for the next thing. All right, I just did that round with double crochet. And to finish off the bag, rounds 19 through 21, so that's 3 rounds total, it's going to be chain 1, 1 half double crochet in each stitch around, and then attach to the first half double crochet. So you're not going to increase or decrease. You see we're still at 40 stitches per round, but you're just going to do 3 rounds with 1 in each. So let's finish that up. I can show you what it looks like on my finished one. So there's the round of double crochet, and then there's 1, 2, 3 rounds above that for half double crochet. And then we'll come back and we'll talk about the paracord and toggle fastener. I just finished the last 3 rounds of half double crochet, and now we just finish it. Finish and weave in ends is what I said. So you just cut a little tail, pull the string through to secure it, and then you can take your yarn needle, darning needle, whatever you want to call it, and just weave. Oh, I'm sorry, I was a little bit too high there. Weave the tail into your work. I'm going to finish weaving this in off camera. You can do the same thing, and then we'll come back for, this time we'll actually do the paracord and the toggle fastener when I come back. All right, here's the bag. The next thing we're going to do, cut a 25-inch piece of paracord. So for those of you who like it in centimeters, let me see what that is. Alexa, how much is 25 inches in centimeters?
25 inches is 63.5 centimeters.
63.5 centimeters. Thread in and out of the double crochet row. Okay, we're going to just start with that. I already cut my piece here. So when you're threading it through, if you want to skip 2, you can. I have tried it with like skipping 3 or more, and it just doesn't open and close as nicely as if you do, as when you do like every other one or every 2. So I just stuck to doing every other one, like going in one, under one, over one, under one, over one, and under one. That's what I've been doing. When I weave it in and out, I usually fold the end a little bit because otherwise this end tends to really fray a lot. And I'll show you what to do to take care of the fraying when we're done. But let's just get it weaved in and out. We can't do what I wanted to do to stop the fraying until we put the toggle fastener on, because it makes the paracord really hard to get through the toggle fastener if we do that before we put it all together. So I'm just going to go under that one, over this one, under that one. I'm not going to do the whole round with you because that would just be really long, but I'm just showing you how I'm doing it, and I'm showing you why I fold the tip under a little bit. You can do it however you want as long as you get it all the way around, but this helps me out and helps me from keeping that end from fraying more. All right, so let's pause here and finish putting the paracord all the way around and then come back. All right, so my round ends with 2 double crochets in between the 2 ends of the paracord. So now you want to match up the ends of the paracord and just make sure that it's going through and coming out even. The next step says, put the toggle fastener through both strands of the paracord. If you have a toggle fastener that has 2 smaller holes, then you would put one of these strands into each of the holes. If you have the one like mine that just has one big hole, then you're going to shove both into that one hole. So this can get a little tricky because it can fray, but you just kind of go through it a little bit here, and here's how it turns out. You're going to pull the toggle fastener. You don't have to tighten it, but just pull it down to the bag. And now at the end, it even says it in here, tie a knot at the end of the paracord. That's just so that the toggle fastener will not come off every time you open the bag. So I'll show you how that works. So when you open the bag, if you didn't have the knot there, it could possibly fall off the ends again. So the knot keeps the toggle fastener from coming off. Now, as far as the ends go, to keep them from fraying, as far as I know, there's only 2 things that you can do. And one is to burn the ends, with a lighter or with a match, whatever. I've never done that because I'm too afraid that I'll burn my whole project up. So if you feel like you're comfortable with that, you can. Or you can use white glue, school glue, and you can glue the tips. And then once you let them set for several hours to overnight, the ends get very hard and they will not fray. You do have to make sure that you cover it with glue, and I sometimes try, if I can, I try to smash them together so that they are together into one. Okay, so like that. And then I'm going to just set this aside to dry for the moment. When, I'll show you, I made this bag probably at least 4 years ago. And that's how I did the end here with glue. And you can see that it has not frayed at all. I know it's hard to tell just by looking, but the ends of these are, it's glued together like permanently. I could not pull them apart. And the ends are very hard. They're not going to go anywhere. So that's the way that I choose to do it, just because I don't feel like messing with burning, but I think the burning way can work just as well. All right, I'll show you from the book here, and then we'll do this together for the mane. The mane says use as many different colors from your scrap yarn as you desire. So whatever colors you want, you can make it whimsical like my first one, or you can just try to make something a little bit more like a lion would really have, like that second one. I think for this one here, I'm going to use the color that I used to make the body, and I'm going to use some of this Just Yarn Plush, and then I'm going to use a little bit of this. I'm going to kind of mix it all together. See how that turns out. Why not? I want to do something a little different from the one that I already have. And then it says cut 8-inch strands. Alexa, how many centimeters is 8 inches?
8 inches is 20.32 centimeters.
I'd go with like 20 centimeters or 21 centimeters. You know, you don't have to try to get that 0.32. And then knot bunches of yarn around the outside of the bag. Here are the pictures of how to do it. You would just put your crochet hook through, and then you would draw the yarn through, pull it through, and then bring it through to a knot. I will show you. I will show you. I need to cut some strands before I show you, and you will need to do the same. So why don't you cut a good bunch of 8-inch or 20 centimeter strands for the mane, and then we'll come back and we'll show in person how to attach them. All right, I do have more than just this cut, but I wanted to bring it out to show you. The reason why I'm showing you the mane and how to put it on to compare to this one is because when I use the plushy yarn, it's not as easy to see what I did. So this one, you can see where the knots are. And I know I don't want you to be disappointed if I don't tell you exactly how many of these to put on, you know, or how to count spacing and stuff. It really is just kind of do it the way that you feel like looks good. So I kind of, if you want to know how many rows I started on this one, here's row 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So about the 6th row. I'm not going to count on mine. I'm just going to, because I didn't count on this one. I just kind of went with where I thought looked good. So you're going to just take, I'm going to do 3 strands at a time. You can do however many strands you want. But I think on this one I did 3 strands as well. And I'm just going to kind of at the bottom of where the face would be, I'm going to put my hook through one of the stitches, or 2. Probably 2 will hold it in place better. And then I'm going to fold the strands in half. So you can see here are my 3 strands. I folded it in half. And then I'm going to put it on the hook, pull it through, not all the way through, just pull it through enough that you have an opening big enough to put the bottom half of the strands through. and you're just going to knot that on. Okay, so here's how that part looks. If you feel like they're too long when you're done, you can trim them up. Or if you feel like they didn't end up even enough for you, you can trim them up. So let me take another bunch of 3. And I can go where I want. I will come right here, I think. Give it a little bit of space. Fold my 3 strands in half. Sorry if you see writing on my hand. I'm still like I am when I was a teenager, and write notes on my hand so I don't forget stuff. And then hook it onto the hook. Pull it through, but not all the way through. Oops, I missed. And that might happen. Pull through until you have a big enough hole that, and you want to make sure that all 3 are open like that. You're not missing one. Then you pull the ends through and pull it tight for a knot. Okay, so I'm going to continue this going up the side, probably about every other row. But there's no rules. If you want to do it every row, you can. If you want to skip every 3rd row, you can. Or if you want to just kind of put it on and not even bother to know which row you're on, that's fine. So I come all the way up here. And then when I got to the row that the round that the paracord is through, I skip that because I don't want anything to mess up my ability to be able to open and close the bag. Even over here, I skipped that. And then I just come up to the side of the bag, and then the front of the bag, I just kind of do it. Looks like I did every 3 stitches across the top. Now on this bag, I did a face on both sides. So I also did it around this. On the other one, I did not do that. Let me open this up a little bit. I only did a face on one side. So on the other side, I didn't pull it through. So it's up to you if you want to make a mane that goes all the way around the top. But on this one, I just did the front. The other one, I did it all the way around. Totally up to you. And then skip where your paracord is, and then continue to go down the side. I don't know if I put the same amount on both sides. On this side, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 clusters under the paracord line. And on this one, I think I have more on this one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I don't know when I just have it all together like this. I don't know if you can tell that. Maybe you can. I don't really notice it. I'm not paying attention to that. But, you know, just put them around the way that you think looks best, and then come back and for the face. All right, here's how it looks so far. I actually really like this mix of textured yarns. You know, you're welcome to use any type of yarn that you want, but you can see how I just came up the sides, and then I put one on each side right above the paracord, and then along the top. I did it every 3rd stitch along the top, and that, to me, that seems like enough. But you know, it's your project, so you can make it fuller or thinner and just make it to your liking. So let's look at the next step, because we're going to do the face next. So the next step is the sleepy eyes. Sorry, I couldn't remember if it was the eyes or the nose that came next. So we're going to take black yarn and your yarn or darning needle, and we're going to just cut a strand. I'm going to cut it fairly long. If you want, I can measure it here. You don't have to make it this long. You can just make it in smaller pieces and then just add more yarn as you need to. But I think I I did about 40 inches. So let's see. It's just approximate, and you don't have to do 40 inches. That's just what I happened to cut. It's about 102 centimeters. I'll have to roll that up later. And then I put a picture in here as a guide, but the words that I put to it, sometimes it's hard to put this kind of thing into words. But use black yarn with the yarn needle. Hand sew 2 letter U's where you want the eyes. Sew eyelashes off the U's facing down. Optional, make a face on the other side. I like having faces on both sides. So you saw, I showed you before that I had a lion face. On this one, I put it on both sides. And on this one, I only did it on one side. And since I'm trying to get through a tutorial here, I'm probably just going to do the one side. If I decide that I am going to use this bag and I want to put it on the second side, I can add it later. And it's totally up to you how you want your bag to be, if you want to have a face on both sides or just one side. Okay, so I'm tying a knot at the end, and then I have it here. So if you look at the picture, I just started with 2 letter U's. Sorry, I needed to pause that for a minute. So yeah, you can just see how it started with 2 U's. So it's, if you wanted to get measurements, it's about 1, 2, 3, 4. It's at the end of the 4th row here that I started. I didn't even go back up to the 4th row. I did it by, you know, what I thought looked good. But if you wanted to have a more precise spot, I'm trying to give you that. And on this one I did it a lot lower. So it just depends on what you're feeling, I guess. Let's see, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is at the end of the 6th row that I started the U. So I didn't do these lashes first. I did the U, and then I did a U over here, and then I put the eyelashes on. So the other one I said 1, 2, 3. It was at the end of the 3rd. 1, 2, 3. I'll go down one more, 4. So I'll go at the end of the 4th. And then just come down. I'm kind of going a little bit diagonal. And of course the mane wants to come in. I'm just going to go down a little bit more. And join it up with that one. And then start coming up a little bit. If you go too fast, if you do the back up too fast, it's going to end up looking more like a V than a U. So make your coming back up a little bit on the, not on the steeper side, on the more shallow side. Okay, and then I'll just skip a couple of rows here. Probably skip like 1, 2, 3, come in about the same place that I left off. Oops. Be careful as you're doing this that you're not sewing the bag shut. Make sure that you're only going through the top part and not going through to the back, because then you won't be able to use your bag. Okay, and then I'm just gonna shallowly, if that's a word, come back down. Try to match it up to the side a little bit, but just remember, nobody's perfect. No animals are perfect. No people are perfect, so it doesn't have to match up completely perfectly. You just want it to look good. And of course, when you're done with this, if you don't think you want to add eyelashes, you don't have to. I personally do like it with the eyelashes, and I'm gonna put eyelashes on this one, but since it's your project, you can decide how much you like eyelashes and if you want to use them or not. I think I'll go over a little bit more. This is just, my own interpretation. I'm sorry, some of these things, people want to always know where all the details go and exact spots for everything. And sometimes it's, I don't know if they realize how difficult it is to try to describe in words those kind of exact things. We're all of us who create patterns, we're just doing the best that we can to try to help you be able to make our creations. So also, it's easier if you could try and ask us questions, rather than being quick to criticize. So here's how it would look without the eyelashes. Here's how it looks with them. I think I put about the same number of eyelashes on both sides. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep, I did that. So I just try to come out. On this one, it might not be quite as far as the other ones because I'm up against the edge. Come through. And then just find another spot. I don't measure mine. I just go by what looks good. But if you were thinking, I want all of them to be the exact size as this, you could measure it and see if you're on track, for making them the same size. I'm not that precise, and like I said, we're all, nobody has a perfect shaped anything, so. Okay. I'll come down here for the third one. Over here, and then I'll put one in the next corner. Being there, so there'll be 5. And then one over here. Come down a little bit because this will probably share the same spot as, maybe it won't. I didn't in the other ones, I didn't do it that way. I'll show you what I mean. I was thinking that maybe I would have this one come down and meet here, but I didn't do that in the other ones, in either of them. So I'll do this one separate as well. Maybe come right around here, just so there's a little bit of space. The mane wants to get caught in all the stitches. And then come up from here. Hopefully you're able to see what I'm doing here. Have a second one over here. Oh, I did, didn't I? I did exactly what I told you guys not to do. I thought I felt it. I caught the back side. Can't have that. So I'm just going to back, if you do this, I'm just going to back myself through and then come through this, where I caught the back side. And then I'm going to just finish up the rest of the stitches. I hope you don't mind. I'm just going to do it exactly the same way that I did it on the other side with 5 strands. There we go. Now my bag opens again. So I'm going to put 4 more, you know, kind of spread out as evenly as I can around here. And then I'm going to come back and we'll do the last part, the nose. Okay, here's how my eyes turned out, and I did not sew it shut. Yay. So next will be the nose. So let's take a look at the directions here. I'm going to do it in black. Of course, you're always welcome to choose whatever colors you want for anything that we do here. We're going to chain 9. So let's start with that, and then we'll go to the next thing. So I'm going to chain 9 off camera. I'm trying to shave off a few minutes here and there so this video isn't too long. And then I'm going to come back after I have the 9. Okay, so let's follow along. 1 half double crochet in the second chain from the hook and each chain across. We'll start with that. So the second chain from the hook, there's the first one, here's the second. So we should end up with 8 stitches. I'm going to count just to make sure I'm even doing it right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, good, I got it right, 8. So I have 1 half double crochet in this 8th stitch. It's going to matter. So let's see what's next. Putting 3 half double crochets in the 8th chain. So I have 1 in there, so I need to put 2 more half double crochets in this last chain. 1, 2, and then it says 1 half double crochet in the back of the chains, 2 half double crochets in the last chain attached to the first half double crochet. So what that means, you can see how this is the back loop of the chain. So you're going to put 1 half double crochet in each of these back loops. I'm going to try and sew the tail in, or crochet the tail in, because like I said earlier, I hate tails. And then when we get to the last chain here, we're going to put 2 half double crochets in the last chain. Okay, so here's the last one. Unfortunately, in black, it is difficult to see. That was my preferred color for this, though. So 2 in that one. Attach, when I say attach to the first, I usually mean attach with a slip stitch to the first. I know sometimes I just assume people know these things, and I'm sorry if that's not good. Attach to first after finish, leaving a tail, and you want it to be a tail on the longer side because you're going to sew on to the face right below the eyes. And then it says optional, make a second nose for the other side. So let's sew the nose on. We don't need the book anymore. So hopefully following along with that pattern helped you. I kind of hopefully gave you a little bit of both worlds, reading the pattern and seeing it visually. So I'm just going to pull this yarn through to secure the stitch. And then I'm just going to place it. Here are some helpful hints. If you would like, you could get either stitch markers or safety pins. And once you find where you want it to be, like just kind of play around with different positions, like maybe down there, up here. Obviously you don't want it up here, but left, right, whatever. Once you find the spot that you want it to be, you can put some pins in there to hold it into place. I'm just going to sew mine on. I can see right here, I want it to go across this round right here, which is one round in between the eyelashes and where the nose starts. And I'm just kind of guesstimating where the middle is. If you wanted to do measurements to find the middle, you're welcome to do that. I think I said it before, I'm not that precise. I just really go by what I think looks good. And usually it turns out okay because nothing is perfect. I don't think anybody has a perfectly aligned nose. And if they do, good for them. Perfectly aligned eyes. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and sew this on. I'll show you the first couple of stitches, kind of what I do. I'm holding this back piece. I have my hand on the inside, and I'm holding this back piece back so that, excuse me, I don't sew the bags shut. I have done that before. You saw it. So I'm just kind of going in and out this way. And along here, I'm just going to try to keep it straight across this line. All right, so let me do one more stitch here. And I know it is difficult to see with black yarn, but this is how I'm weaving it in. And I'm just going to finish sewing it all the way around, and then I'll come back and show you the final. All right, here's how the final bag turned out. I hope that you liked this video tutorial. I have a lot more video tutorials. If you look in my playlists, you can see that I have all different categories. I have bags, I have hats, I have scarves, I have ponchos, I have all kinds of things, some eclectic things, some amigurumi. So please feel free to subscribe. It really helps my channel. If you subscribe, it helps me to be able to put more content out there. If you like the video, it lets YouTube know that you like my content, and it will push my stuff out into the algorithm more. And so if you like this, I would really appreciate if you would do both. And thank you for watching. I hope you have a great day. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.